Hey you guys, Lisa Winston here, sitting in my hot car. I look like a nutcase, right? Sorry about the sunglasses. I know it's not a very good connecting kind of thing, and they're not even fixed yet. But yeah, it's 81 degrees, but I was freezing in the house, so I put a turtleneck on. So I'm going to the store and I probably look like a nutcase. I think I am. Anyway, you guys, something I wanted to share with you that I'm actually working on is about, there are my eyes, hi, see? Not allowing your past programming to affect your decisions. You know, from the time, again, you already know this, we've talked about it before, from the time you're an infant until you're about 7, you acquire all these ideas about yourself, and you take on whatever your parents think, or, you know, your teachers or the people around you. You take on these ideas and you make them your own. And it's interesting because somebody I saw the other day, can't remember, somebody I was working with, they had gotten turned down for a job offer. And they thought it was because they didn't get an education, because their parents always said, you know, an education is so important. If you don't have an education, you're a failure. And like, so because they didn't have an education and they lost the job, they totally went into this like massive depression that, you know, I'm such a failure, I'm such a loser, I never got an education. So they're letting that affect their reality. Or even like, I'm going to bring up a very taboo subject here, okay? Because I'm actually delving into it myself more, and that is around sex, which is a very taboo subject, right? This society is so effed up around the whole subject. But like, for example, also say you sleep with somebody on a first date, which, you know, you do or you don't, right? There's a lot of different variables there, and what you feel about it is, you know, whatever you decide to do. But, you know, where I was raised, or the way I was raised, if you do that, you know, you're a total hoe, right? Like, nobody respects you if you do that. It's wrong. So anyway, we make all these decisions every day, and they're based on what we believe are our values, and in reality they're the values that we were raised with that are not necessarily our own, and we've, you know, taken them on and we allow them to rule our lives. Just checking in with my eyes. Sorry, maybe I should just take my glasses off, right, altogether. Woohoo, there I am. No sleep still. So really look at what it is, you know, what's running your paradigm, what's running your reality. When you make decisions and you beat yourself up, it's not necessarily because you're bad, it's because you have these ideas that are not your own, and you're making decisions based on them. So you make a decision, you feel badly about it, and then again, you think it's your set of values, but it's actually values that came from your parents or your family or your preachers or your teachers or whatever, right? So really look into, what are your values? What is it you value? If you sleep with somebody on the first date, does that make you a slut? Well, not necessarily, right? Again, that's just another taboo subject because everybody has hang-ups around sex anyway. So there are so many crazy variables around that. I dealt with that my whole life. I really did. And I'm still actually working through that. But, you know, if you don't go to college or you don't get your degree, it doesn't make you a loser, right? So, I mean, just look at all the things in your life that you do, all the decisions you make, and look at especially the disappointments that you have. And what are those disappointments from? Are you just being particularly hard on yourself? Are you a perfectionist? Did your parents tell you that you were a loser if you did this or you didn't do that? What's true for you? And I mean, I'm really looking at this stuff for myself, and I'm going, holy crap, you know, these aren't my values. What are my values? I'm not even sure. You know, who am I? What is it I really value? Like, if I do something like that, you know, like say sleep with a guy on the first date, right? Does that make me bad? Does that make me less than? Is a guy going to disrespect me because of that? Or is it just because I was raised with the concept that, you know, you date for a really long time and then you get to know somebody, and, you know, that kind of a deal. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going around in our heads that we don't even get. We don't even know where it came from, and we just run this paradigm. We keep running it, and it's a bullshit story for the most part, and it really messes us up. It really, you know, it's the great, like I always talk about, the great mind F, right? It's just true. So really look at, what did your parents raise you with? What were the people around you giving? What values were they giving you? What messages were they giving you about yourself and what's right in the world and what's true for you? Because it's like across the board, right? It almost seems like it's supposed to be true for everybody. And it's not. Everybody has their own set of values. Everybody has their own way of being. Everybody makes choices. And, you know, I don't know much about the European culture. I've been over there, but I mean, I know as far as sex goes, right? Anything goes. I mean, I was in Tahiti on a vacation, and these women were walking around with no bathing suit tops on the beach and didn't even give a second thought about it, right? And everybody's off the ship going, oh my God, you know, they're naked. So look at what's true for you. Look at the cultures. Look at what you've been raised with. Look at your own ideas, your own sets of values, what is true for you, and live from, you know, that space. Start to actually examine it and live from that space, as opposed to automatically going to this thing where you judge yourself and you guilt yourself and you're less than and you're awful for doing something that probably you picked up from, you know, your parental values or your family history or whatever or is around you. It's really important, guys. I'm really getting into this whole thing about values, and because we just, like I said, we just beat ourselves up over everything, and it's insane. It's incredibly insane. God, it's still 81. I think I need to go change my top. Not only do I look like a nutcase, but now I'm getting warm. So yeah, watch what you think and write it down. You know, make sure that you actually take note of what you're thinking, what you believe, where it comes from, and really look into it and start to get to know yourself authentically at a very deep, authentic level. What's true for you? What is okay for you? What do you believe in? What, you know, and work from that space. And I think you have a lot less judgments on yourself and criticism, self-criticism, and start loving yourself. And I think most of it, like I said, comes down to the fact that we don't really know who we are, you know, or what it is we value or what it is we even believe. So gosh, you know, start the journey. It's never too late, right? Look at me. All right, you guys, I am getting a sunburn sitting in my car, I think. Oh my God. I'm taking off, going to the store. I will see you guys.